Happy day to all of you. On behalf of the Annamalai University Political Science and Public Administration Wing, I welcome you all on board. Today we are going to learn the course Administrative Thinkers in the M.A Public Administration as well as B.A Public Administration. For both the courses, for both the programs, the courses are common, and we are going to deal with the course Administrative Thinkers. Especially in public administration, thinkers are classified into 5 different categories like classical school, bureaucratic school, behavioral school, socio-psychological school, and contingency school. So 5 different schools are there in the administrative thought or administrative theory or administrative thinkers. Altogether they are common, but according to the nomenclature of the university, they differ. But the thinkers are very common to all of the learning community. And in administrative thinkers, in the classical school, we are going to deal with the thinker Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol. Who was Henry Fayol? So everyone in the scientific school or the basic classical school, they used to know about the contributions of F.W. Taylor, Henry Fayol, Luther Gulick, and Lyndall Urwick. All these 4 important personalities belongs to the classical schools. So among them, Henry Fayol was one of the best thinker in the public administration. His thought was very much provocative, revolutionary in the management field. Who was Henry Fayol? So everyone will be curious to know about who was Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol was a French mining engineer, well renowned as the father of modern management theory. So he was called as the father of modern management theory, who has worked for the development of the administrative science or administrative theory. Fayol began his career as a French mining company, Commentary, Fort Chambalt and Decazeville, where he started as an engineer, but his hard work has made him elevated to the general manager and then the organization director within the term of 1888 to 1918. Fayol was a wonderful personality. He belongs to both the management world as well as the administrative world. Fayol took on the managerial role at the mining company, and he relied not only to depend on the technical skills but also on the ability of the managers or the organizations in handling the problem. And while looking into the contributions of Henry Fayol, so Henry Fayol has his own credentials in the administrative thought, and his book was written in French language so that it cannot be brought into the world. Only during his course of demise and by his disciples as well as the other thinkers, his contribution was translated into English language, and it was used by the entire world, recognized, and its work was very much renounced. So widely influential in the early 20th century, Henry Fayol wrote the book on management theories and work organization. Administration, his book titled Administration Industrially et Generally. In English, it was called as General and Industrial Management. Henry Fayol introduced theories that could be applied to all levels of management and for any department. His basic principles, his contributions was very much influential in not only in factories, offices, government, even individual can also learn a number of individual can utilize a number of principles in the day-to-day life and used to study the problems, give solutions and so on. Organizations and managers still practice Fayol's principles of management to ensure an efficient and successful business. So actually there is a basic difference between the public and the private organization. The public organization is involved to serve the people, that is, service is their common motto, whereas the private organization's motto is to earn profit, increase the profit. For both the organization, that is the public organizations and the private organizations, the principles of Henry Fayol are always playing a vital role in increasing the efficiency of the employees and the economy of the organizations. So that much of role has been played by the principles of Henry Fayol. And Fayol was also a renowned person, that is, he actually belonged to the geological area, but his contribution was in management side. So Fayol got Nobel Prize for his research in metallurgy, that is the geological area. And when coming to look into the contributions of Henry Fayol contributions can be classified into three categories. One is the 6 essential activities of an industrial undertaking. The second one is the essential activities of administration. The third one is principles of management. So his classifications can be viewed into 3 different categories. The first one, essential activities of an industrial undertaking. So whatever may be the organization, industry or technological center or government office or industries, he has quoted that there are certain 6 essential activities. Number 1 is the technical activity, which deals with the production and manufacturing activities. It is totally technical. Production side, what type of productions, for example, if it is a biscuit company, then it has to be produce the biscuits, purchase the raw materials, all these comes under the production and manufacturing activities. And the second one is commercial. Second essential activity of an industrial undertaking is commercial, buying, selling and exchanging activities. So in order to produce a product, we have to rely on the various resources of the various organization. So here our duty is to purchase, buying, selling and exchange, and various organizations will be depending on our resources. So that is mutuality in exchanging certain resources, also certain activities. The third activity is financial activity. So we know that finance is the fuel of the administration. So engine is considered as the administration and the finance is considered as the fuel for the engine. So without finance, starting from the individual life to the government life, no one can operate. So finance is the fuel of administration, is very much essential for running an industrial undertaking. So the duty of the organization is to provide the required capital services. And fourth one is security. So security is also more important activity of an organization or an industrial undertaking. It is protecting mutual interest of the employees and the employers. So the duty of the organization is to provide security to the people as well as the property of the organization. And the fifth one is the accounting. So accounting tells us about the profit, cost, liability and preparing reports such as balance sheet. So every organization is intended to run it profitably. But whereas the government organizations are not able to produce or increase the profit, whereas the private organization always intended to increase the profit. So whatever may be the type of organization or industry, every organization should maintain the account book for knowing the balance, whether we are running in the profit or in the loss mode. And the sixth one is the managerial activity. Managerial activity, what we are going to do is planning, organizing, directing, coordinating and controlling. That is our managerial activity. All these comes under the managerial activity. So these are all the 6 different activities of an industrial undertaking. First one is once again I revise it: technical activity, commercial activity, financial activity, security, accounting activity, managerial activity. And next we are going to move on to the 5 different functions of management or 5 different functions of administration. So among them, the first one is the planning. Planning is forecasting the future and draw and plan accordingly. So every organization used to plan, forecast, so prediction, that is what type of demands will be raised in the society, how much of production we have to produce. Each and everything will be done based on the planning activity. So the first 5 functions of the management, the principle comes is planning. And then second one is organizing. Organizing is nothing but structuring the human and material resources. And the third one is commanding. It is an act to set the human resources towards organizational objectives. So every organization is having its own objective. Accordingly, the management duty is to put the employees into action to achieve the organizational objectives. The fourth principle of management is coordinating. Coordinating, it is to develop unity and harmony are all organizational activities. So in organization, n number of people will be there, different classes, different gender, different categories, so different hierarchical, n number of peoples will be there. The duty of the organization is to coordinate the people with unity and harmony in order to achieve the objectives of the organization. And next, the next one is, the last one is controlling. It is to see that everything occurs as per the conformity with the established rule and the expressed command. So controlling is also more important. So controlling the manpower, controlling the resources, that will lead the organization into the successful mode. So these are all the 5 different functions of the management. So once again I repeat: planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling. This is the 5 different functions of the management. And the third part of the Henry Fayol's contribution to the development of administrative thought is the principles of management, and it is called as the 14 principles of management. So he has been toiled and moiled in developing the principles. So actually he belonged to the geological field, but his interest was towards the management, and his management principles is supporting all types of organization. As I said earlier, that is from the individual life to the state, everyone can utilize these 14 principles in their day-to-day activity and can lead a happy and successful life. It was a industry, the 14th principle was a industrial revolution. So during the industrial revolution, these 14 principles played a vital role across the world, irrespective of the places. It played a vital role. So it was the perfect timing to the world have been subjected to massive changes, and new and improved working styles were need of the moment. So according to the need of the society. Henry Fayol played a vital role in the development of the 14 principles of management. So, not only in the management, in the administrative, both the 14, that is all the 14 principles played a vital role. So, let us see what are the 14 different principles. The first one is the division of work. It says that specialization allows the individual to build up experience and to continuously improve his skills, thereby he can be more productive. Division of work. So, among the employees of the organization, we will be having different sections of people according to their qualification. So, here the duty of the management is to divide the work among the employees according to their specialization. This will lead to the efficiency. Efficiency will lead to the increase in the profit of the organization. So, division of work, that is the first principle of the 14 principle of management according to Henry Fayol. And the second one is authority and responsibility. Authority is nothing but right to give orders, and responsibility, it is involves being answerable. Whoever assumes the authority assumes the responsibility. So, authority commensurates the responsibility. If I am having the authority and I will be having the responsibility to answer whenever the questions are raised, whenever there are issues, whenever there are conflicts, immediately the authority person, those who possess the authority, are responsibility. So, this is the second principle, authority and responsibility. The third principle is discipline. So, without discipline nothing can be accomplished. It is the core value for any project or any management. Good performance and sensible interrelationship make the management job easy and comprehensive. Employees' good behavior also helps them smoothly build and progress in their professional careers. So, discipline maketh a man. Whenever the discipline is practiced properly in the organization will lead to success. If that is apart from that, the superiors have to be disciplined so that the subordinates will be following the superiors, that is the discipline of the organization. If the superiors are indisciplined, then we cannot expect the discipline from the subordinates. So, discipline is more important principle of the organization. And the fourth one is unity of command. This means an employee should have only one boss and follow his command. If an employee has to follow more than one boss, there begins a conflict of interest and can create confusion. So, unity of command says that organization immediate, that is the subordinate should have only one immediate superior. If he or she is having n number of superior, then there will be chaos and confusion to whom obey, to whom not to obey. Then there will be a confusion in achieving the objectives of the organization. So, what we want is an employee should have only one boss and follow his command. And the next one is unity of direction. Whoever is engaged in the same activity should have a unified goal. This means that all the people working in a company should have one goal and one motive which will make the work easier and achieve the set goal easily. For example, we can say that our constitution is having the motto of welfare state. So, all the people of the Indian society are directed to work towards the welfare of the society. So, unity of direction says that one objective that should be there. If we are having multiple objectives, it cannot be achieved by the organization and its stakeholders. So, one objective that only will lead to the success of the organization. Subordination of individual interest to general interest, the sixth principle. So, it says that it indicates a company should work unitedly towards the interest of a company rather than personal interest. All the personal interest should be kept aside and the main interest is the general interest of the organization. So be subordinate to the purposes of an organization. This refers to the whole chain of command in a company. And the seventh one is remuneration. So humans are very much attracted to the remuneration, that is the salary. So without salary we cannot operate the functions of the organization. With salary, humans will come to the organization and will carry out the function. So remuneration plays a vital role because that is the motivating factor. Various motivating factors are there like appreciation, rewards, financial benefits. So like that many motivating factors are there. Among them, the financial motivation plays a vital role. This plays an important role in motivating the workers of a company. Remuneration also can be monetary or non-monetary. Ideally, it should be according to the individual's effort they have put forth. So remuneration should be paid. So according to the work of the employees, according to the output of the employees, they should be properly remunerated. Then only they will be motivated. If A is getting higher the income according to his output, then B also will be motivated indirectly, and B also will successfully work in order to achieve the goal of the organization, and both A and B will be rewarded as per their output of the organization. And the eighth principle is centralization. In any company, the management or any authority responsible for decision making process should be neutral. So in the centralization process, everyone should act in the neutralized way. However, this depends upon the size of the organization. So centralization was one of the oldest concept, whereas now we are having the decentralization. Centralization was 1950s concept. 1950s or from 1950s to 1980s we can say that centralization was there. Now from 1990 onwards we are following the decentralized world. In the decentralization, everybody is having authority according to their capacity. Whether to centralize or decentralize the organization, it depends upon the structure, nature of operations, culture of its staff and business. So see, these factors plays a vital role whether to keep centralization as principle or decentralization as principle. What are they? Structure, nature of its operations, culture of its staffs and its business. And the ninth one is the scalar chain. Scalar chain, it says that hierarchy steps should be from top to the lowest. This is necessary so that every employee know their immediate superior. Also they should be able to contact any if needed. In times of crisis, in times of issues, immediately the subordinate should reach the immediate superior so that they can get a solution to the existing problem and it can be addressed and the organization can sail smoothly. That is the principle of scalar chain. And the 10th one is order. A company should maintain a well-defined work order to have a favorable work culture. The positive atmosphere in the workplace will boast most productivity. So the orders revolves around the idea. The superior should perfectly at the right time should issue the perfect order so that the employees, that is the subordinates, will obey the order and execute it so that the organization's goals can be achieved without any hindrances. The 11th one is equity. Equity is said as all employees should be treated equally and respectfully. It is the responsibility of the manager that no employees face discrimination. So as I said, today we are living in the secular world. Today most of the countries are following to adopt the secular principles in their governance process. Likewise, similarly, the private organizations are also practicing. So here different religious people, different genders, they belong to the organization. So while treating them that is the management should carefully handle the people, should not give any discrimination, should not provide the place for or an opportunity for discrimination. All should be treated equally. And the 12th one is stability. The stability of the tenure of the employees of the organization. So stability here, it denotes two important things: stability of the employees of the organization as well as the organizational stability. Both the stability is very much important so that the employee will deliver the best. So that is, the stability will give a motivation so to the employees that he or she can serve the organization for 25 years, 30 years. That stability will give naturally the motivating factor to the employee, and they will give their best output. It is the duty of the management to offer job security to their employees. Next, 13th principle is the initiative. The management should support and encourage the employees to take initiatives in an organization. It will help them to increase their motivation and morale. So here the management, every individual is having 6 senses. Here the duty of the management is to allow the employees to provide their initiativeness, to provide their innovativeness in the governance process of the organization, so that new initiative, new idea, new policies can be derived and it can be implemented for the welfare of the organization. And this is the last principle, that is the 14th principle of the management, Esprit de Corps. As I said, the author belonged to the France and his contribution was in the French language. The translators left the 14th principle in the similar way, that is in the French language itself, in order to remind that he belongs to France. What does Esprit de Corps mean? It is the responsibility of the management to motivate their employees and be supportive of each other regularly. Developing trust and mutual understanding will lead to a positive outcome and a positive environment. Simply we can say that harmony, social harmony that is more important in the organization. That should be the outcome. That is togetherness that is more important. So these are all the 14 different principles of management contributed by Henry Fayol. And to conclude, the 14 principles are the pillars of any organization. The 14 principles of management are the pillars of any type of organization. It may be a small scale organization, middle level organization, largest organization, or a multinational organization, MNC. What type of organization it may be. For all the organizations, these 14 principles will fit in and serve the organization to reach its goal. They are integral for prediction, planning, decision making, process management, control and coordination. So whatever may be the contribution, the critics are there. Whatever the contributions given by the thinkers are criticized by the fellow contemporaries and the later thinkers. So here few criticisms, let us go and see. The first one is, according to a few management experts, his theory is incomplete and narrow. So they says that the theory it denotes that principles, it is nothing but principles. Principles are incomplete and narrow. Another version says that 14 principles are analyzed from top-bottom approach and not from bottom-top approach. That was also one of the important criticisms. And Henry Fayol has focused much attention on functional aspect and have neglected the structural aspect. So he has neglected the structural aspect. He has only concentrated on the functional, that is the field level aspect. And the fourth one is, few principles overlap each other, like the unity of command and unity of directions. scalar, these are all overlapping one another. And too formal, Fayol's theory is said to be very formal. So these are all some of the criticisms. So students, once again I remind you that, or recollect, once again we recollect that Fayol's contributions can be categorized into three. One is the essential activities of an industrial undertaking. It has been six different types. And the second one is principles of management or administration, that is classified into 5, and the principles of management that we have seen, that is classified into 14. So these are all the four important contributions, three important contributions of our author Henry Fayol. So once again recollecting, Henry Fayol belonged to the classical school, and he was one of the founder of the management process school. He is also called as the father of the management process school, and his contributions play a vital role even in the digital era. Hope you can go through this video and recollect the points which I insisted, and utilize it well for your examination and other purposes. Thank you, students. Thank you very much.